Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in this gospel, brother, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick lesson through the spirit. Lord's way to be edifying. I was watching this guy, Full Spectrum Survival, and honestly, in my opinion, I think he puts out some pretty good edifying in the form of videos. Him, Patrick Humphrey. You got this guy, Canadian Prepper, which, I mean, he's all right, I guess. But you got New York Prepper. You got, what's this guy name? I think it's Peter Schiff, if I'm not mistaken. Or, what is it? Glenn Beck, I think. Maybe, not Peter Schiff. Glenn Beck. I believe that's the guy's name. I always get these dudes mixed up for whatever fucking reason. But anyway, man, he was basically going into how all the preppers are being watched. Now, he may have hinted at it for a few minutes, but I watched majority of his video, and he was really going into how the Americans are paying overly in taxes and how, they're being flushed out of the markets and, things is just pretty much fucked up for Americans right now. And on top of that, China, Russia threatened to go to war with America, how America is basically sending particular ships, or if they already sent like these particular troops, I believe, to like China's border, which they supposed to have like a permanent stay or something. Some shit he was going into, man. Okay, but there's a lot going on, honestly speaking, and it's hurting my head trying to keep up with all these videos because clearly, every video come out is prophetic. Like the Lord is literally flooding this place with prophecy, with news, with information. It's like, goddamn, you blink, you gonna miss something. Like all these videos, I try to catch all these videos. I try to catch them all, but it's humanly impossible to catch them all, because we're looking for that event. Okay. And this thing is getting ready to go down quick, any day now, the way it is looking, because now you got the White House that was basically putting out warnings about how these particular water systems around the country has been infiltrated by hackers. Okay, and of course, if they go to war, if there's some type of cyber attack, then they will have to shut off the water, and then, the power has to come out. It's just like a lot of mischief out there, man. Okay, and people are still walking around here acting like this is not a reality, man. Okay, so anyway, I want to bring this out first and foremost, but I want to say copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. Okay, so it says for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might be otherwise infringing for non-profit, educational, or personal use. Tips and balance of favor of fair use, meaning I'm not making any money off this video. This is not for profiting purposes. We're not selling this video. This is just speaking on Bible prophecy and filtering these things through the scriptures. As Yahweh Shai say, he's the spirit of prophecy, man. So this is our whole purpose. Okay. So I'm going to play just I think he may have spoke on it for a couple of seconds, not even a whole minute. But regardless, I'm going to play about a minute or two of this video, and we're going to get into a couple of precepts because, hey, man, we've already said that with you preppers, you guys are really like walking targets at the end of the day. Okay. You dudes are really walking targets because, for one thing, you're putting all this information online on the internet. Okay, you're prepping, you're surviving. Then guess what? You got preppers out there that's also marauders. Okay, preppers that's gonna go and hunt everybody down. Now these men may have undisclosed locations, but hey, don't get it twisted. Somebody knows where you at. Okay, people have intel. People have ways of getting to people that they want, and you guys are putting all your resources out there saying what you have, this and that, get that. Look, man, when this really go down, people gonna come and pay you a visit because you're gonna have more waters out there, man. Okay, they showed you that in that movie or that TV show, The Last of Us. They showed that in The Walking Dead. They showed that in World War Z. They showed that in all these Doomsday movies or all these post-apocalyptic movies when you got marauders out here going house to house with armed weapons, okay? And they're taking what they can find. And if they got to leave you where they find you, they will do that. Okay. And the reality of it is you people that's prepping all the soup and potatoes and beans and whipped cheese and cream and water, and mayonnaise and all this stuff that you people are hoarding up. At the end of the day, you really storing that up for us, because you ain't gonna never eat it, because the Lord is gonna take a lot of you out. But regardless of it, the scriptures say that my servant shall eat. Okay, so I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video, and y'all bear with me because I'm trying to get a lot of this. I gotta get some of this yeast and shit out of the crib, man. Been a hectic 2 weeks, man, and I'm just getting around to it.
We have a warning to you coming from viewers in our community. Over the last 7 days, we have multiple people write in saying that their farms or their cities have been under watch, that people are looking for predators, or they're looking for opportunities, and these people are predators. So I want you to take their heed. We don't know if we can verify them. Nobody's out there snapping images. We had one person send in a little bit of surveillance footage showing somebody scoping out their place, came up and checked their door. Guys, just take word from this and lock your doors. Keep your windows shut at night. Make sure you lock your car door. Get a surveillance system. Look outside before you open that front door, and just be aware that strange things are happening, and we do expect violence to be on the increase. Britain's royal strange things are happening, and we do expect violence to be on the increase. Britain's royal
Hey, that's bam. He said a lot within 48 seconds, man. Basically, watch out because shit is getting turned up out here. It was a video that came out, I want to say about a day or two ago, of this Israelite woman. I think she was like the property owner, and this one individual, I believe they arrested one of them, but it was another guy that came and squatted on our property allegedly for a month. So basically, he called the cops, or the cops came and they arrested her because she changed the locks to her own property. Okay, so that means a motherfucker will live right on your balcony for 30 months, okay, fucking drink chocolate milk, eat graham crackers, piss and shit, right on your portion. If you won't do nothing, they can't do nothing about it, but they will arrest you. Okay, so this is why I feel like through the spirit, this election is going to be very, very chaotic. That's if there's an election. Okay, but something is going to happen, okay, soon. Okay, I'm thinking within the summer or around the time of the election, but things are going to start happening leading up to this election, and people are just going to start losing their fucking minds, man. The Lord is getting ready to unravel with the spectrum in Babylon and age. By 2025, things are going to be just totally out of whack. So we're getting close to the return of Yahushua. All right. And this is pretty much the only time he really spoke on it. So we just going to get right into a couple of scriptures, man, because we know that prepping and doomsday bunkers, all that shit ain't going to save you, man. Okay. You got to have faith in Yahushua. That's what the Lord said. He said, when he come on the earth, should he find faith? Because, hey, Esau getting ready to bring it. Okay, we already did the video on it was called the Disciples of Moonlight or something like that in 2 states. Matter of fact, they got across they got it across 35 states on the board that basically you can't speak against the small hats, man. So when you bring out certain precepts and scriptures, and then they say, well, you antagonizing them and all this other shit, and they can fine you and lock you up. And I believe that they get like $2,000 for like a snitch award or some shit. So we on the street, somebody say, those guys out there are talking bad about those Jews and they're saying this and that. Then they can come and they can fucking roll on us, man. Okay, so it's getting real out here. The Lord is getting ready to really close this thing down. We're getting ready to get the hell out of here, finally. All right. So this is the book of Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to start at verses 19. And it says here, and they should cast their silver in the streets, and their gold should be removed. And their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. It says they should not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity, man, okay? And that's the point. Also, the scriptures goes into they would not be able to strengthen themselves in the iniquity of their life. Matter of fact, let's go up here. Verse 12, it says, the time is come and a day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. So, you got guys out here that's prepping. You got guys that's weapons training. They into all this type of survival shit, which is okay. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with having those skills. But overall, if Yahushua is dealing with you to utilize those skills to be a benefit for yourself and the body and your family, man. Okay, if you just a regular Joe Smo out here and you may got some type of military training, or you've done 12 years in the service and then you know how to put a gun together blindfold, look, that ain't gonna save you, man. That ain't what it's about. The Lord told us to have faith, because let's just say if you piling all that stuff. Let's just say if you get caught. Let's just say if you were in the middle of the city, or you coming home from work, and they decide to donate, or they decided to release a biological weapon in the middle of the city, and they get to blowing bridges and shit, and the bridge to your house is literally blown. So basically they got to quarantine parts of the city or direct parts to the city to have you stay at one. How you gonna get to all your stuff? So you just spent all that money, 15, 20 years prepping for something you can't even utilize. And guess what? A lot of you are going to suffer that fate because the Lord is just not dealing with you purpose, man. Okay, you prepping food to feed us, and that's exactly what it is. Shit, hey, I'll take your 20-pound bags of brown rice, man, and your brown sugar and your organic herbs and your dandelion. Hey, we can use that. Okay, because at the end of the day, you people are going to be getting jacked up out here, and the Lord's will, he's going to, defend us. Okay, those of us that's not locked away in prison. Okay, because, hey, some brothers are going to have to get locked up for this word. So just prepare that and get your minds ready to deal with that fate. Okay, think about it like, okay, if I'm in this situation, prepare your minds, man. Don't be shocked. Oh my God, I didn't know this was going to happen. Look, bro, know what you signed up for. Just be prepared to deal with whatever comes down the pipe, and keep your faith and trust in Yahweh Shai and let him deal, man. Okay, you might not be getting delivered to the FEMA camp to get put to death. It may just be a trial of your faith, man. And then some people gonna have to die for it. But overall, the Lord is gonna give you a spirit of comfort of dealing with that. So don't be bugging out, scared, man. They gonna cut my big toe off. Nah, bruh. Just chill. Okay. But anyway, it says here, for the seller should not return to that which is sold, although they were yet alive, and vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return. Neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. Right, man. So all the folly, the madness that you people in, you're not going to be able to come to the Lord with that. Your guns and bows and all this shit. I mean, you got a firearm, so be it. But at the end of the day, if you thinking that you getting ready to take down a system with a firearm, then you sadly mistaken. You know what I'm saying? You sadly mistaken. Like this guy's telling you, watch your bag, you big shoot nobody. I mean, that's somebody coming in your crib, squatters, whatever, whatever you got to do. But in this case, you ain't getting ready to take this man down with no weapons, man. Okay, this man has military power, and he's going to use that military in order to enact his laws, man. He's going to push that. He's going to use his muscle. Okay, it even came out, I believe, in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, the parts of Europe. Was it the UK? No, I don't think it was the UK. I think it was one of the European countries, though, that basically, and they approved of this guy Gates. They approved of basically a tracking registry to put in you, and if you ain't complying with being tracked, then they gotta lock you up and detain you. So that's coming down the wire, man. Okay, you ain't with getting that MOTB put in you, then hey, you gotta go. All right. So let's go here. Matter of fact. That's a good one here. Let's go to the book of Luke 20. What is it? Luke 23. Is it Luke 23? Is it Luke 19? Let me know. Is it maybe Luke 20 and 23? Let's try Luke 19. All right, let's do this. I know I'm running. Green tree. Luke 23 and 31. All right, so I was close. So this is the book of Luke 23. And let's start at verses 20. Let's start at verses 29. It says, matter of fact, let's start at 20. Let's start at 26. And it says, and as they led him away, they laid hold upon Simon the Cyrenian coming out of the country. And it says, and on him they laid the cross that he may bear it after Yahweh Shai. Okay, because for one thing, like, when Yahweh Shai had help with carrying his cross, man, okay, he had to have help with carrying his own cross. So how much us, when it's all hell break loose, we gonna have to lean on the Lord, man, because we gonna have to help. We gonna have to have help carrying our cross, so to speak, bearing our cross. Because believe it or not, we're bearing the cross, but the shit ain't easy, man. Okay, and the hardest part about bearing your cross in this thing is the mental aspect you have behind it. Okay, it's the mental behind it, man. You know, it's brothers, the mindsets that deter them from succeeding in this truth, man. Because you gotta have your eyes gotta be single. Okay, a lot of times Jake get complacent because of their mindsets get all jacked up and they start looking at things outside of the picture. You know, they started to put things into the box that don't belong there, and they become bitter because they don't ask questions. Okay, and we all are guilty of that. So, but this is the book of Luke 23, and I'm gonna start at verses. Yeah, I've already read that. Yep. Wait. Damn, I'm tripping. Yep. 23 and 27. And it says, and there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Yahushua turning and said, and to them it said, daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. Okay, it says, for behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear, and the paps which never gave suck. It says, then shall they begin to say, in the mountains fall on us, and to the hills cover us. For if they do these things in the green tree, what should be done in the dry? Okay, because you got to understand, he just prophesied right there, because I'm going to say roughly when Yahushua got crucified, 33 AD, according to scholars, you have 40, 56. Yeah, so roughly 30 something, almost 40 years later, then you had the Romans that rolled on Jerusalem, I think, in 67 AD. So that was roughly 33. So, yep, that was 64, 5, 6, 7. So that was literally, I want to say 34 years after the Lord's crucifixion that the Romans rolled on us, if I'm not mistaken. You know, 67 to 70 AD, which we call the Siege of Masada. They locked Jake into the cities. They cut off the food supplies, man. You know, and Jake basically starved out, you know, committed cannibalism. And the ones that ran into the troops or the Romans, they was put to death, tortured, you know, left out to die. And then those of us that fled, that escaped, went down into Europe. We went to Africa, you know, Asia. We went all over. We was dispersed. It's called a diaspora, man. You know, so that's coming back in another way. But instead of being dispersed, Jake is just going to get straight up put down. Okay, so all that prepping and doomsday prepping shit, it ain't going to work. Okay, yeah, you may be able to hold yourself over for a couple of days, couple of weeks or months, but when you got a pack of hooligans coming to get your shit and they know you got it, man, it ain't just gonna be one person that's gonna show up at your house. Okay, you gonna have somebody that's gonna show up for the oodles and noodles, for the water, for the daughter, for your wife. It's gonna get real crazy out here, and a lot of you people have never been in a situation when it dealt with gunplay. Okay, motherfuckers shooting at your melon and shooting back at your ass. You have what they call a fight or flight response, man. And a lot of you people are gonna just flight. You're gonna run. You're gonna get taken over because you never dealt with that type of the hell coming to you, man. And you have not prepared mentally. You know, I think about it all the time, man. What if we get surrounded and ambushed? Motherfuckers got rifles pointed at us and they pull the trigger. I have to think these things through, man, because I have to prepare my mind in order to deal with this shit. Because, hey, we going to be in the midst of this shit, too. Okay? Difference is that we're going to be protected, Lord's will. But, hey, it ain't going to be no cakewalk for us either, man. We may go a day or 2 or 3 without food, man. You know? So that's why the Lord going to speed up Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble ain't going to be some long out 30-year thing. No, Jacob's trouble ain't going to roughly be months, man. Lord's will. Okay? And then once things get so bad and they roll out that charagma, literally, when they roll out that charagma, man, we may have a matter of days before we get up out of this joint. You know, because it's going to be already jacked up here. But we just have to see how they're going to do it. But anyway, going over here to the book of 2 Ezra 16, and let's start at verses 40. It says, O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay, and what is a pilgrim? A pilgrim is a person that traveled to and fro or from place to place. So we ain't gonna be able to sit in our apartments when all hell is breaking loose. Martial law is out there. If you want to run from martial law, you may have to sleep under a fucking bridge, man. You may have to sleep in a storm sewer or some goddamn where. Okay, you may have to sleep under a fucking car. Who knows? You may have to sleep in a damn dumpster. And I'm just throwing those scenarios out there because this is gonna be the reality for some people, man. Okay, you want to run for martial law? You already know they coming for us. So when that's said and done, what else? You see? But it says, and he that selleth, let him be as that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose, right? So all that prepping and all that other stuff, it ain't gonna do anything, man. Okay, you gotta prep and put your faith in your how about Shimmy how shot. So brothers, don't worry about it. Don't be overly stressing yourself. Well, I only got eight cases of water in the house. Okay, cool. The Lord can make 8 cases. The Lord can stretch your 8 cases of water until the missiles come, bro. Like for real. Hey, how Shai fed 5,000 if I'm not mistaken. With 2 loads, how many? I think it was like 5 loads, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and read that story, man. But nonetheless, Yahweh Shai fed the multitude with not like when you look at like that's just like me taking a loaf of bread and feeding 10,000 people, and there's only literally like 26 slices of bread in that loaf. The Lord can put the Spirit on you to multiply that loaf and feed a multitude of people, man. So we can't rule that out of the question. Okay, miracles and interventions are coming back in a big way, and we have to understand that because shit, how else we gonna make it? You know? So don't even worry about it, man. Lord gonna give you some brother spirit to fly over, man. It's gonna be crazy how things are gonna be happening. We just gotta just sit back and let it happen. But it reads here, and it says, and he that soweth as he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that should not gather grapes. And it says, and they that marry as they that get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And it says, and therefore they that labor in vain. It says, therefore they that labor in vain. Yeah, like, stocking all that shit up, and then you go on the internet, you got these channels. But we understand it's through the Spirit. The Lord put it out there because he's letting us know the times we in. But my thing is, if I'm prepping and I have all this shit, you would never know nothing about it. Okay, I ain't finna say, oh yeah, I have 86 pounds of rice right in my living room and a third locker to the left. Hell nah, man. You ask one motherfucker to pay you a visit. Because if that man come to the door and you're going to have to do something to him. And you know that the way it is now, a migrant have a right to put you to death, but you can't even draw. They said in certain, I think that's in fucking Canada, they said if motherfuckers trying to break in your house, just leave the keys at the front of the door and let them come in. So you don't have to, so there won't be any resistance. Fuck you mean? Somebody come in your crib, man, you got a right to put their ass out. You know what I'm saying? You come to my crib and you gonna fuck around and find out. I don't give a fuck what Esau say. And that's the spirit that people are adopting. Because they like, we not finna sit back and deal with this bullshit, especially when that peasy head, Muppet brain Joe Biden, all right, and that Miss Piggy looking bitch, Kamala Harris, okay, talking about, I think she wanted to use this nigga's Fat Joe or some shit she was talking to try to get Jake to resonate with her, man. This bitch only showed up 6 times in 4 years. Jake ain't listening to you, man. But she ain't got to worry about some goddamn marauders or squatters coming in her crib because she's protected. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't eating drinking Highland Farms vitamin D milk. That's what you niggas are drinking. But it says here, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that should not gather the grapes. And it says, they that marry as they that should get no children, and they that marry not as the widows. And therefore they that labor in vain. It says, for strangers should reap their fruits and spoil their goods. Okay, what's your fruits, man? That's your shit you're stocking up, your farms. Hey, farmers are literally on life support right now. I remember farming at a point in time in America was lucrative. If you was a farmer, man, you work hard for a season, man. Your crops yield, man. You was living good. Now you a farmer, man. Hey, you producing. They'll come and put a bullet in your head, okay? Because they don't want people being self-sustained. It says, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods and overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine they should get children. And they that occupy merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, and the more I will be angry with them for their sin, says Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? So it's going to be some shit out here real soon. And, just say we the first persons that you heard it from. Okay? If you're going to give credit to anybody, give credit to the men of the Lord. It wouldn't be no full spectrum survival or no red pill movement and all these other guys out here doing all this work if it wasn't for the men of the Lord first. Give credit to what credit is due, but we understand that we're not going to get the glory on this side. We're not going to get our kudos on this side, and that's cool too, because in the next world we will be elevated and you will know that the men of the Lord was among you the whole time. So I'm going to end it there, giving all